Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor. Today is such an exciting day. Have you ever had that emotion where you have been talking about something for so long and you were so passionate about something, but you were still yet to have that bit of validation that everything in your gut that you knew was the right thing, and then but you didn't have that one thing that was right in your face where you get to finally see it, and it almost made you want to cry. Well, that's what I feel like today, because for months now, months and months and months, I've been telling you, Wall Street is coming, Wall Street is coming. I've been screaming it and saying it, and I believed it with every fiber of my being. But today, I actually see, today's the first day, and I'm about to show you something that literally almost brought me to tears. And I've got Bank XRP to thank for this. He's great on Twitter, and I'm going to thank him in this video for the tweet, and then show you what I'm talking about. But I have other people I want to thank as well, because there's some other people on Twitter that have contributed today. I mean, I literally could not find enough things to talk about. There were too many. There was too many things to talk about, and I had a very tough time just narrowing down what I would talk about. And so, some of my friends on Twitter that I follow and that follow me, they were sending me messages and delivering things up left and right. And I've been busy today, and so I haven't been able to get to everything, but finally I did one video today and talked about Fidelity, and then I logged back on and saw a few things, and I wanted to give some people some credit and thank them for helping me out. First guy, Steven Vargas. This guy's very active in the XRP community. He sends me things all the time and likes my posts and everything, and I really appreciate it. And you should follow him, because he's all over this. Finding things about XRP and posting them on Twitter. It's at Steve Vargas. Okay, so go follow him on Twitter. He is helping to get this done for us. Today, he put this tweet out announcing long-awaited English translation of the draft Liechtenstein Blockchain Act. As blockchain permeates throughout society, the Principality's pioneering framework provides a legal foundation for the growth and governance of the token economy. And he's copied this to me. And so I was going to take some time and go through this. But the significance of this, for those of you that don't know, Liechtenstein is our call to arms. When XRP does what we all know it's going to do, we're going to meet in Liechtenstein. We might have to call it the XRP Beer Festival and have our own beer festival, but we're going to meet up in Liechtenstein. And the reason for Liechtenstein is, in one of my videos one day, I featured Liechtenstein, and I featured it because all the arrows for blockchain and digital assets kept pointing back to Liechtenstein. I would see Binance opening an exchange there, and then I would see someone that works with Ripple over there, and everything kept on pointing back to Liechtenstein. And eventually I decided to go study Liechtenstein a bit, and Liechtenstein is a tax haven, and it's a destination for some of the wealthiest people in the world, and it's now becoming one of the destinations. It's ground zero for blockchain. Blockchain technology. They're intentionally setting themselves up to lead the way in blockchain. And to me, blockchain has always represented a freedom, financial freedom. And anybody who is getting rid of regulations and having regulations, but not having overburdensome regulations, that is a good thing for the people of the world. And that's what Liechtenstein represents in my eyes. Well, today they're leading the way in having a regulatory framework for blockchain. And this, Stephen Vargas put this out, and this is the English translation of those regulations. And Liechtenstein is the person that the people that put those regulations out, by the way, is the Liechtenstein Crypto Assets Exchange, which we've seen Ethan Beard from Ripple meeting with these guys. And so it's a small world in this digital asset world. But these now that this regulatory framework is out in Liechtenstein, other parts of the world, including the United States, are going to be looking at these to put together a framework, hopefully that's very friendly to investors as well as companies that are wanting to start new blockchain and digital asset companies. But it's very important for us in the growth of our investment and in the growth of the industry itself, because this is what's going to open the door to new investors, and it's going to take away some of the scariness of digital assets once they start to get these regulatory frameworks set up. And Liechtenstein is leading the way. So that's great, and thanks Stephen Vargas for that. Next, I want to thank the Rippening. This guy has been all over it. I want to say that I read that this guy drives a limo in Austin, Texas, because I think I saw a post, and forgive me if you're not the right guy, but I'm pretty sure I saw a post where he said he was a limo driver in Austin, Texas. So for those of you that need a limo driver in Austin, Texas, here he is, and he's all over Ripple as well. I see his things all the time, and he sends me messages as well. And it's at _Rippening if you want to follow him. And he does a really good job. Well, he sent this tweet today, and I thought this was cool. Just spoke to a financial advisor from Merrill Lynch. He said crypto came up today in their conference call. He said they're discussing it, but need to get more comfortable with the idea. I told him they better get comfortable quick because NASDAQ and Fidelity aren't playing. And I would add BACT, which is New York Stock Exchange. It's exchanges, crypto exchange. But what is interesting here, if a Merrill Lynch financial advisor is acknowledging that crypto is being talked about, that means that they're probably already working on their own exchange. I mean, if they're bringing it up with an average financial advisor at Merrill Lynch in their conference call, then you can bet your bottom dollar that Merrill Lynch already has something in the works behind the scenes. They're not going to tell their financial advisors about it yet. But this is pretty interesting, and he's right. They better get up and be doing something about it. But don't think for a minute that Merrill Lynch and Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs are going to let the Fidelities of the world lead the pack on this. They're in the mix. They're right there in the hunt. If Fidelity's coming out today and announcing their digital asset exchange, you better believe the others are coming. And for you, what that means, as I told you earlier today, you're sitting there with your XRP investment. And not only have people not really flooded in, the average person has not really flooded in the way that they can, but the darn exchange so that the average person can buy. And remember, what you and I have done is not something that your average person could do. I told you the other day, if I sat someone beside me right now, it would take me 30 to 45 minutes to make them understand. To this day, it would take me 30 to 45 minutes to make them understand how to buy XRP. And that's a fact, because I'll say to buy and, think about this, buy and safely store it. Think about, it might take me an hour and a half to explain to them how to buy it and then get a Ledger Nano S and put it on the Ledger Nano S. That might be a 2 or 3 hour course. That's how complicated all this still is. And what that means for you and me is so monumental. It means that we're ahead on we're not just ahead on the investment. We're ahead on a huge learning curve. We've been through the trenches. I mean, we've already been in the war. We're bloodied. we've gone through the bear markets and all this, but the bear market we've been through was a bear market that followed a rush of investment, not from the average people that are going to be investing through Fidelity and Merrill Lynch and these type of places. We just came through a bear market. We've come through a bear market that was a bear market after a really cool, awesome bull run that only involved people like you and me who have invested the hard way. That's what you need to really let sink in. It's amazing how far ahead of the curve we are. So moving along, I want to thank the Rippening again. But now I want to thank him again, because then he put this: Fidelity launches early 2019 with first customer. This is from the Fidelity thing today, but I didn't know how they were going to phase it in. With Fidelity assets, first customers being onboarded now and general availability scheduled for early 2019. The launch of the subsidiary with 100 employees marks the latest and perhaps largest push into cryptocurrency by an institutional asset manager. Awesome. These guys they're going to phase it in. We've got SBI over in Japan. They're phasing it in. What's going to happen is this all is going to start slow, and then all of a sudden you're going to wake up one day and you're not going to believe where you are in life. Okay, now this is where it gets exciting. Bank XRP. I've told you about him before. Follow him if you don't, because he's one of the most important XRP YouTubers Twitter guys that there are. At Bank XRP, and you can follow him. He posts a lot of great stuff. Fidelity Digital Assets Institutional Solutions for New Asset Class. They have launched their website. This is what I was waiting for. This is where I almost teared up when I saw this tweet right here. I was like, no, and I want to tell those of you that have not heard me say it before. Remember, I was a financial advisor when I first discovered cryptocurrencies 4 years ago. And when I first put my money in XRP, I told my wife at that time, I said, listen, I'm going to put this money in here, and if I'm wrong, we're going to lose it all. But if I'm right on the long shot, and I'm right, this looks to me like the internet boom. And if I'm right, a few years from now, what it will look like is a few years from now, you will see the big boys from the E-Trade to the Charles Schwab to the Merrill Lynch to the Morgan Stanley to the Fidelity. You will see them creating platforms where average people can, not the hard way, the way we've been doing it, but average people will be able to get into these cryptocurrencies. And I told my wife 4 years ago that if that ever happens, our investment could be worth amounts that I couldn't even believe. Today, looking at this Fidelity website from Bank XRP, who I appreciate doing this, when I saw this Twitter, this right here, I was blown away, because this is the culmination of everything that and granted, that doesn't mean that right this second that the market's going to explode, but it does mean that one of the foundational things to make all of this as monstrous as my gut told me it could be 4 years ago. This is it right here. And any of you who have ever questioned your investment, I want you to go look at his tweet and click on this link. You will see this when you click on it, because this is everything right here. Now, this right here is Wall Street. Wall Street, I've told you for months, Wall Street is coming. When all of this and all of the other companies and all the foundations are truly laid, you're not going to recognize life as you know it again. If you've invested into XRP in a reasonable amount, this is so huge. And I've given the example many times, but the idea, I've been telling you for months that you're going to have in digital assets, you're going to have investments that have not even been dreamed of yet. You're going to have anything you can imagine: mutual funds, ETFs, derivatives, futures, all sorts of different products. And you're going to have all of these traditional guys falling like dominoes and getting into this game. You are probably, as I said earlier today, you're probably going to have franchises of digital asset brokerage companies and maybe you might see Merrill Lynch Digital Assets. That might be a branch in your town. Or Morgan Stanley Digital. I don't know what they'll call it or what exactly it'll look like. But this is going to become a part of everyone's lives across the world. And you will have been one of the original XRP investors, the greatest digital asset ever created. That makes you in the below 0.1% of the world, period. Okay, I want to show you one last thing that I thought was really cool. I saw it on Twitter this afternoon. Now, you all need to, it's fidelitydigitalassets.com is this website. I'm going to play around this website today, and I'm going to show my wife this website and tell her I was right all along. I knew it, my gut, I knew it. I'm going to show her this website tonight and make her understand what's about to happen. She gets tired of hearing about digital assets as much as I talk about them, but that's okay. She will benefit. All right. The last thing I want to show you all, and I thought this was really cool, and there will be a day soon probably when I'm going to buy one of this girl's paintings. I saw this Danielle Torres on Twitter earlier, and I followed her today. And I want to support anybody who's doing anything as cool as this. I will have one of these paintings in my house probably before we get to Liechtenstein. But I want you all to go follow. This is someone who is, if this is not cool for the XRP community, I don't know what is. Go and buy her paintings. I don't make any money off of this, by the way. I just discovered this today, but I thought it was so cool. She said XRP2 original available, beautifully textured with raised logo and letters. Close-ups are B&W to show texture. Don't know what B&W means. But anyway, open her website. She's got a link here to her website, and I just thought this was really neat. I just need to go over this with my wife and see where we can put one. But I thought that was really neat. So you can go to her website, and I think you can buy them right here on her website. But that is neat. So I am the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. I want you to please subscribe and hit the like button and get your family and friends. Tell them that Fidelity Digital Assets open today. Make them understand what is going on, because they're going to miss out big time if they're not careful. Thanks for listening. Danielle Torres, I'm going to put your painting here in the thumbnail of this video. If you do not want me to have it in the thumbnail of this video, then please contact me and I'll take it down. But I'm going to do it because I like your painting that much. Thank you.